guilty. I want to go on the scene now to New Mexico, where a judge is hearing Alec Baldwin's motion to dismiss his involuntary manslaughter charge. This all stems from the 2021 fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. And joining us now from Los Angeles is entertainment attorney Tre Lovell to break this down a little bit more for us. Tre, thank you for being here. How likely is it that the judge dismisses this case today?
You know, it's very unlikely. Judges are reticent to dismiss as a matter of law as opposed to letting a case go to the jury if there's any factual question at all. So the chances of the judge dismissing are slight. However, I think these motions give a good preview in terms of how Alec Baldwin's going to fight this at trial and has an excellent chance of winning.
What strategy will Baldwin have when this goes to trial, expected to go to trial this summer?
So the real distinction Baldwin has to make is they have to explain the world of a movie set and the real world, and while it's very different. With Baldwin, the key comes down to the fact that the armorer is the expert, and everybody on set, including actors, are entitled to rely on an expert and their investigation or ensuring that a prop or a gun is safe. And that's what he did in this instance. There's no independent duty for an actor to have to start checking for set safety and ensuring props are okay to use. So the distinction is going to be really to show that he had no duty here. He was entitled to rely on the armorer. And as a matter of fact, if we started imposing duties on actors on sets, it would just put the movie world upside down.
What's the argument the prosecution is going to make?
So the prosecution is going to argue, hey, basically anytime you're given a gun and you're going to, shoot it in the direction of people, you've got to make sure it's safe, make sure it doesn't have live bullets, don't point it at anybody. The rules you would expect in ordinary life. And the prosecution is going to apply that duty, those rules, to the world of the movie set. And they're going to say, hey, even though you have an armorer there, you have an expert, just out of an abundance of caution, if you're the one using the gun, you need to check it yourself and make sure it's okay.
And the armorer in the case, she was convicted. She's serving time in prison right now. How could the fact that she's already being held responsible impact this trial?
It's a big deal. First of all, when there's a tragic death, a tragic injury, juries want to hold somebody accountable. And they're going to want to point at somebody and adjudicate against them. Because there's somebody that's innocent, that shouldn't have died or shouldn't have been hurt. But here we have a guilty culprit. We have Gutierrez, who was convicted and was adjudicated to be responsible. So Baldwin's going to be able to point the finger and say, hey, you already have the right person. It's not us. And the second aspect is the Baldwin camp has had an excellent opportunity to preview the case against them. They know the witnesses that the prosecution is going to bring. They know the documents, the other evidentiary record, and they're going to have a great opportunity to be able to counterbalance that, having kind of seen firsthand what that case is going to look like.
And there's a lot of time to go before this trial starts, a lot of hypothetical situations we could get into, but how likely is it that the jury will find Alec Baldwin guilty?
I don't think it's that likely. I think as long as Baldwin's lawyers can really educate the jury, on the duties and obligations and how a movie set works. What people need to realize is an actor, when he's doing a film or doing a television show, he goes to somebody else's place of work. He or she uses somebody else's equipment and does what they're told. And to that now impose upon an actor or an actress the duty to make sure that the set is safe is beyond the pale. And as a matter of fact, it would even interfere with how a movie set is orchestrated and followed, because now if an actor can be indicted or found liable for an accident for a prop, they're either not going to do the scene, they're going to have their own expert, they're going to all of a sudden become an expert, and it's going to take away from the safety of the set. So this case has a lot of potential ramifications in terms of movie making going forward.
What responsibility is on Baldwin if he was the producer of the movie as he was with Rust?
Now, you need to realize a producer is a credit. And you can get a producer credit for a number of things. You can get a producer credit for financing the movie, for introducing a major element to the show. If most celebrities, most A-list actors get a producer credit as part of their deal, but they have absolutely nothing to do with the physical production of the show. And so even though Baldwin is a producer, so that does not mean that he has the duty or obligation, to physically produce the show or what's going on the set. That's governed by certain producers through contracts, through the agreements. And so his camp also has to educate the jury, say, hey, listen, even though he's a producer, that doesn't mean that he has anything to do with how the actual physical production is done.
All right, Tre Lovell, entertainment attorney. It's a fascinating case. Thank you for helping us break it down.
Thank you so much.